All right, everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah, it's exciting to be back.
Today we're going to be looking at this concept of the power of positive thinking,
Yeah.
and we've got some great material to pull from for this with Mindset Matters.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be a fantastic resource for our deep dive today.
So, the whole idea here is to really unlock this hidden potential that's within all of us, right?
Right.
It's this idea that shifting your mindset can actually lead to some pretty amazing changes in your life.
Yeah, and it's not just some kind of fluffy feel-good stuff either.
Right.
It's about real, tangible results in both, like you said, success and happiness.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of people listening are probably interested in this because, let's face it, who doesn't want to learn how to kind of unlock that potential and make those positive changes in their lives, right?
Absolutely. And the beauty of it is that it's not some complicated formula or a secret society you have to join. It's really about understanding this one core concept, which is that your mindset actually plays a much bigger role than you might think
Right.
in shaping your reality.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the architect of your future in a way.
Exactly. And the goal of today's deep dive is to really break down these ideas from Mindset Matters and give you the tools to actually apply them in your own life. So consider us your guides on this journey.
Yeah, we're going to walk you through this. And so let's start with the basics.
Okay.
Olivia in Mindset Matters gives a definition of positive thinking.
Yeah.
But I think it's more than just, putting on a happy face when things are tough.
Right,
You know,
right, exactly.
it's a deeper shift in how we approach the world. So what are the real key elements here?
So Olivia defines it as a way of focusing on the good even when you're surrounded by challenges, right?
Right.
And it's about maintaining this optimistic outlook on life, not in a naive way,
Yeah.
but in a way that allows you to keep moving forward.
Yeah, and it's not about ignoring the problems.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
not about pretending everything's perfect. It's about choosing to focus on the solutions.
And believing in a positive outcome even when things are tough.
Yeah, so it's kind of like this lens that we're looking through.
Right.
Instead of immediately focusing on what's wrong, we're training ourselves to see the possibilities that exist
Exactly.
in every situation.
Yeah.
So why is this so important, though? I mean, Alex and Olivia both touch on this. What's the real significance of adopting this optimistic perspective?
The significance is profound. It really does influence our actions and feelings, which then directly shape the results we see in our lives.
Right.
So a positive mindset makes us more inclined to see opportunities and solutions rather than limitations.
Right.
And that's huge.
It's like our attention becomes a magnet, right?
Right.
We attract more of what we focus on. Mindset Matters even uses the term self-fulfilling prophecy, which I found really intriguing. Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Yeah, so this idea of a self-fulfilling prophecy suggests that when you have positive expectations about the future, it actually subtly influences your behavior in the present.
Oh, interesting.
And that makes those positive outcomes more likely to happen. It's like if you believe you can handle a challenge, you're more likely to put in the effort
Right.
and you're more likely to persist when things get tough. And conversely, a negative mindset can really create this downward spiral where you don't believe in yourself.
You give up before you even start.
Exactly. And that lack of belief leads to inaction or half-hearted effort, which just reinforces the negative expectation.
Oh, wow. So it's like we're actually shaping our reality with our thoughts.
Right. And psychologists sometimes call this behavioral confirmation. It's the idea that our expectations actually shape the reality we perceive.
I've totally been there, psyching myself out before I even start something.
I think we all have.
But Olivia actually shared this really cool story in the book about shifting her mindset when she was going for a promotion. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Olivia's story is so powerful because it really illustrates this inaction. She was initially filled with self-doubt, thinking things like, I'm not qualified or I won't get it.
Right.
But then she made this conscious decision to shift her focus, to acknowledge her skills, her professional growth, and she started visualizing herself succeeding in this new role.
So she was actively replacing those negative thoughts.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is how she directly links this internal shift in belief to her actually getting the promotion.
Wow.
It wasn't just wishful thinking, it changed her whole approach.
Right. Her energy probably shifted too.
Absolutely. And that likely influenced how she presented herself during the process.
It's so true. I mean, our thoughts really do influence our actions.
They're completely intertwined.
And this is a great example of that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure some people listening are thinking, okay, this all sounds great in theory, but where do I even begin?
Right.
What's the first step Olivia suggests we take to start cultivating this more positive way of thinking?
The first step is awareness. You need to become really attuned to your own internal dialogue to recognize those negative and limiting thought patterns as they arise.
So it's like becoming a detective of your own mind.
Exactly. Noticing when those negative thoughts start creeping in.
Okay, so once we've identified those negative thoughts,
Yeah.
what's the next move? I mean, it's not always easy to just flip a switch and suddenly be optimistic, right?
No, it's definitely a process. And that's where the active practice of replacing those negative thoughts with more empowering ones comes in.
Okay.
Olivia gives a great example. Instead of thinking, I'll never finish this project on time, consciously replace it with, I've tackled tough deadlines before and I can break this down into manageable steps.
It's like reframing the situation.
Yeah, exactly. And this reframing allows you to find a new, more constructive perspective on the same event.
I love that word reframing because it's like looking at the same picture,
Right.
but through a different filter. But what about when we're in the middle of like a really, really challenging situation when stress is just so high? It can feel almost impossible to find that positive angle.
Yeah, and this raises a really important point about how we handle difficult emotions. The source material rightly points out that negative emotions are completely normal.
Yeah.
They're a valid part of being human.
And we're not robots.
Exactly. The key is not to suppress them or ignore them, but to reframe the situation that's triggering them
Okay.
in a way that allows us to move forward. Olivia's suggestion to reframe, this is impossible, to this is tough, but I have the strength to get through it, is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, because it acknowledges the difficulty, but it also reminds you that you're resilient.
Exactly. It allows you to keep going.
So it's about finding that balance, right? Validating our feelings, but also looking for that path forward.
Okay, now Alex and Olivia also talked about the role of affirmations,
Yes.
which I think could be a really helpful tool. So for anyone who's new to this idea, what exactly are affirmations and how do they help us? Affirmations are positive statements about yourself and your capabilities stated in the present tense as if they are already true.
Yeah.
So instead of saying, I will be successful, you'd say, I am successful. And the idea is that through consistent repetition, you're training your subconscious mind to believe in your potential.
It's like we're planting those seeds of positive belief.
Exactly.
But I can imagine that some people might feel a little awkward or even disingenuous saying these things at first.
Yeah, especially if they don't really believe them yet.
Right. So how do we overcome that initial resistance?
That feeling is completely normal. Olivia compares it to exercising a muscle.
Yeah.
When you first start working out, it's challenging and you might not see results right away, but with consistent effort, you gradually get stronger.
Right.
So with affirmations, even if you don't fully believe them at first, the repetition helps rewire your brain over time.
It's the consistency that's key.
Exactly. And that consistency leads to belief.
Okay, so beyond reframing our thoughts and using affirmations, are there other practical strategies that Mindset Matters mentions for cultivating a more positive outlook?
Absolutely. One of the biggest ones is gratitude.
Gratitude, yeah.
Taking time each day to reflect on the things you're thankful for has a powerful effect on your mindset.
Right.
It shifts your focus to the positive.
Yeah, no, for me, even just a few minutes of thinking about what I'm grateful for can really change my mood.
It's amazing how powerful that can be.
What else does the book suggest?
Another important strategy is surrounding yourself with positivity.
Okay.
This means being mindful of the books you read, the content you consume, and the people you spend time with.
Yeah, your environment makes such a big difference.
It really does. Positive energy is contagious.
It's true. And negativity can be contagious too.
Exactly. So you want to create a supportive and encouraging environment for yourself.
So it's like our surroundings are an extension of our mindset in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
And is there one final piece of advice for Mindset Matters that we should touch on?
Yeah. The last piece is all about self-compassion.
Self-compassion.
It's this reminder that shifting your mindset is a journey.
Right.
It's not going to happen overnight, and there will be ups and downs.
Yeah.
You're going to have easier days and more challenging ones.
We're all human.
Exactly. And it's so important to be patient with yourself, to acknowledge that setbacks are normal, and to avoid being overly critical when you have those negative thoughts.
Right. It's about treating yourself with kindness.
Exactly the same kindness you would offer a friend.
I love that. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into Mindset Matters, what's the biggest takeaway about the power of positive thinking that you want our listeners to remember?
The biggest takeaway is that positive thinking is a skill. It's something you can learn and cultivate, and it's about believing in your ability to overcome challenges and focusing on future possibilities.
Yeah, it's not a magic wand,
Right. It takes effort, but it's so worth it.
but the rewards are huge. And it's something that can truly transform your life.
It can change how you feel, how you act, and the direction your life takes.
And as Olivia said in the book, even small, consistent shifts in our thinking can have a big impact.
Absolutely.
It's about starting small, being persistent, and really tapping in to the incredible power of our minds.
And this brings up a really important question for you, the listener, to consider.
Right.
Think about one area of your life where you could apply one of these strategies that we've talked about today.
Mm.
Where could you experiment with reframing a negative thought, using an affirmation, or practicing gratitude?
And what positive changes might unfold from that?
You might be surprised by the results.
Yeah, it's all about taking that first step and seeing where it leads you. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the power of positive thinking, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening.